I'm going to close this thing up because Harley Quinn's sick and tired of listening to me talk about these people. She's ready to go out.
Here's the ratings?
Hold on one second and let me make this fucking statement. Well, give me the goddamn ratings.
NXT, 707,000. AEW, 773,000.
A lot of sevens.
By the way, to my point that there's a pool of people that go back and forth, almost the exact same total audience as last week, where AEW at 845 and NXT at 615. I think they're off by just a couple thousand. It's the same audience.
We ought to go through and total the total audience and see how since the last time that there was a significant change in what pretty much the base audience is for both shows. We ought to do that sometime. Not today, though.
No.
So they squeaked one by 66,000, and that was probably because NXT gave them the fucking show with the girls match on the front. But here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and then I'm done with this show for today. I've mentioned that the first time I talked to Tony Khan, he had me sign a non-disclosure agreement, and I have not disclosed any. The non-disclosure agreement was to prevent me from saying or revealing any business secrets or knowledge that was not known publicly at that time about what they were going to do. And I never did that. I honored that agreement. And I've mentioned things that I didn't like hearing, such as when they told me who he was going to be in business with, the Bucks and Olivier. I knew it was doomed from the start. But one thing he did say to me that I think I can reveal now, because it is public knowledge. It's not like I'm revealing any trade secrets, because he has admitted, and many people have admitted, that Tony Khan is the nominal booker, although most of these guys obviously get their own input for good and bad in whatever they're doing. He claims to be and has the title of the booker, and he's the one that they're talking about makes all the matches, so I'm going to reveal this. Besides the fact of who he said he was going to be in business with, the Young Bucks and Kenny Olivier, the very first discussion we had, and this was the biggest reason why I didn't go any further with any discussions with him. At first, I didn't want a job. That was my first line. I said, I don't want a job, so I'm the only person in business that'll tell you the truth, but I was willing to help him. But I heard this. He said to me this. When I said to him, I said, well, Tony, if you get this TV on TNT and you get all these people you're talking about signing, who's going to be your booker? Who's going to be booking this thing? Do you know what his exact words to me were, Brian? I've told you this in confidence before, and I told a few other people. This is the reason why I was instantly turned off of this whole fucking project. He said, nobody is going to write my TV but me. Almost like Ernie Ladd when he on Mid-South TV when he said, nobody's going to manage the Samoans but me. Nobody's going to write my television but me. And right then, when I heard those words from Tony Khan's man, he cannot deny he said this, and now it's public knowledge he is, that's when I said, okay, this is a lost cause, and I don't want to be anywhere fucking near it. Because what's happened here, folks, and if you like the show, great. But as a professional in the wrestling industry, I think it's insulting. And what the format, the formula, the recipe for this is you take a bunch of guys who could never make it in the wrestling business except by doing a parody of wrestling, who have impressed a guy who thinks it's a good idea to book his own national TV show with his prior experience being an online fantasy federation when he was a teenager. You mix in a few veterans who will roll their eyes and tolerate it for an obscene amount of money, and you add in one canned ham close to his expiration date who steals the show by chewing scenery like Robin Williams, plus MJF, and that's All Elite Wrestling. And if they don't like all the criticism I've got for them, do something about it. Like getting anybody with half a lick of sense to tell you for your own good what you're fucking up. Or you can keep the same fucking 500,000 to 700,000 fucking people that want to watch goofy comedy wrestling with fucking people that couldn't whip cream with an outboard motor being featured as fucking top stars. Or you can fucking do this the right way. But I think that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And so far, I think they're on their fourth first impression, and none of them have been good. I close my portion of the program today with that thought. Don't do shit you don't know how to do. And just because the other program sucks a donkey dick too, that doesn't mean yours smells any better. That's about all I got to say about that.
You know, I can kind of understand where Tony Khan's coming from. I also booked a fantasy federation. I was a booker for my G.I. Joe federation. Want to remind you, we drew some pretty big houses with our Hawk versus Doc feud, as well as the emergence of Road Pig, which people are still talking about.
To this day, they still talk about it.
That's right. But
I found some of the cards that I wrote when I was 12 when I was just writing down names in my fucking room. And they make more sense than this. Anyway, that's about it. Any closing thoughts? Harley Quinn's got to go out.
I'm looking forward to the drive-thru where we don't review these two shows.
Yes.